Alright, in this video I'm going to give you a quick demo on how to document the exploded view once you've created that with the .ipn file, and to throw in a parts list and some balloons to make this look the way you want it. So the first thing you want to do is start a new file, or perhaps this is a sheet in a large document that you're creating, kind of like what you can see here in the left in the browser. And for demo purposes, I just opened up a brand new sheet here so we can start from scratch and you can see what we got. So like the other views, first thing I do is drop in a base view of some kind to get something to work with. So base view, and we do go find our exploded or IPN file, and when you go and browse, if you don't notice that file type right away, just make sure you look down below and say what kind of file types is the inventor looking for. And sure enough, it's looking for IAM files only. So we're going to switch that to IPN files. There we go. Now you can double click that. Kind of pull off. Yep, sure enough, that's, you can see everything's being pulled apart. It's not the orientation we want, but it's definitely the file type. And then over here we're going to go to our change view icon. And this is coincidental, it came in here, it was right, but you know, F4 rotate, get it the way you want it. Tap the glass box to dial in isometric if that's what you're after, or you know, tweak it to or adjust it to the way you need it to be. But once you have it the way you're satisfied with, green check mark up top, and we go ahead and place it here on the paper and right click create, or I'm sorry, OK in this scenario. I'm gonna go back here and double check what scale we're at, 0.5. Also notice everything is shaded here. So I'll double click that view box, 0.5, and click shaded and hit OK. Looks good. Alright, so we got the most important thing on the piece of paper. Looking at the example, we need a parts list up here, and we gotta throw some balloons on. Okay, so let's work on the parts list first. Annotate tab, and right over here you'll see a parts list. Go ahead and click on that tool. It's asking what is the view you want to generate the parts list from, and it's this general view, and I click on that view box and I go ahead and hit OK. And I'm just going to go ahead and snap this into the upper left corner. Don't leave a gap on the top or side. I want it snapped all the way into the border. And there we go. We'll probably say, hey, it's not exactly like the example we were showing, and that's great that you recognize that. So let's go ahead and adjust that. We need to get rid of the column. So double, when your cursor makes the entire thing highlight red, double click it. It brings open a window so we can modify that parts list. And one of the options right here, first thing, is a column chooser. There's the 4 columns we had, which are item, quantity, part number, description, item, quantity, part number, description, highlight description, remove it, hit OK, and OK again. Looks good. Go ahead, left click hold, drag it over to the side so it's now back in the corner again. So parts list, part number, a quantity, item, I went ahead and changed the header or heading of this one column to say part number. So we'll go back to mine. We're going to double click it then to go back in there. And you can format the column. Instead of item, we're going to have it say part number. Click OK, and OK again. And we can change, whoops, not that one. That'll take a little bit of playing around with. Part number, quantity, item, quantity, and this one was supposed to be item, so double click it to go back in there, right click on this, format the column, and then on this one to say item, click OK, and OK again, and it all changes. There we go. See, even my row spacing is a little bit bigger on this one. I think it's just one of those things you can grab it and drag it a little bit. Looks a little bit nicer. If you did a good job naming your files, the file name is what you'll see here. And I think we did change the last one. 14 comes in, that's going to be our machine screw. Again, double click it right there. Oops. Then highlights, we can go part 14 machine screw, and we can drag that a little bit wider. There we go. Hopefully everything is supposed to be capitalized and not have the part number in it. So this will take a little bit. Double click it. Start at the top. This would now just be base. This will be the, oops, turn your caps on, table pin. Table. Ball end. And you'll notice how everything changes blue, so you'll know what boxes you've modified, which boxes have been left alone. Just click into any other one of them there at the moment. Oops. There we go. Notice that in this table here, it's all centered. Again, double click, highlight, and table layout. Format the column, there we go, centered. Sorry, it just took me a minute to remember. So format column, that's how we change that. Sure enough, hit OK. Anyway, that's how you tweak and modify the parts list, okay? Now, it's time for balloons. So right over here, balloon tool, and your first click is going to be where the arrow starts. Next click is where you place it. Right click, continue, move on. Okay, next item. Click where the arrowhead would go. Click where you want the balloon. Right click, continue. Look back at this really quick. So I got this 1, 2, 3 pulled out. 4, 5. It kind of wraps right up and around. If you need to adjust something, I hit escape a few times. Highlight that balloon, grab the green dot, and pull this one down a little bit too, I think. There we go. So balloon tool, pull that out, right click, continue. Continue. The ball end was number 4. And so on and so on. Now just work my way around. If you have any issues with escape to cancel tool, for some reason this one is not correct, you can double click the balloons. It says here, right, what is the item? Here's the override, and I could change this number here to be whatever I want this balloon to say. That way it should match up in your parts list. If everything's working out just fine, then you may not have to go in here and modify anything. Okay. So it took a little bit, but a quick recap. You drop in your base view of your IPN file. You then go to the Annotate tab, Parts List, click on this view, place it, and you start tweaking this parts list. And when it all highlights red, you double click. Everything in here is where you do your tweaking, or your adjusting of what the parts list says. Once you have that done, balloon tool. Your first click represents where the arrowhead will be. Second click is where the balloon goes. Right click, continue to place it. And work your way around. If you need to modify a balloon, just like the parts list, you can double click it. Tiny little window here, but gives you a little bit of flexibility. And hopefully everything will work out just right when you're done. Good luck.